Okay, here's my 1963 Corvair, and I've been doing some work to it. Cleaned up the engine pretty good, runs really good. Everything works, the electrical works, the carburetor's tuned pretty well, and the turbo's working well too. So what I'm working on now, though, when I first got the car, this car has a special fuel return line that goes all the way to the front of the car and tees into the gas tank up there. And when I first got the car, I had a little tube hanging here. They put a special connection in here to remove the filter. The filter was removed, and this tube right here was just plugged up, but it was all cracking and everything anyway, so I just had to remove and replace the whole tube. So it goes from a rubber tube to a steel tube that goes along the side of the driver's side of the car, and then goes up to the gas tank, and then here's another, like a foot long piece of rubber tubing that goes from the end of the steel tube up there, and then that tees in to the vent hose that is incorporated into the filler tube and the gas tank system, because basically this mechanical fuel pump here evidently pumps out way more gas than this engine and this carburetor can handle, and so that's the reason why it has this special filter here. And I guess a lot of people don't like, a lot of people eliminate the filter because it's kind of expensive. It's like a $50 filter, and it has a special apparatus in there in order to it's kind of like it's kind of like a regulator as well as a filter, and when there's too much pressure built up in there, then I guess it starts pumping the excess gas back to the fuel tank, kind of like an electric fuel pump does. And if you don't have that, then what'll happen is it'll tend to flood out your carburetor and cause all kinds of problems with it running too rich, and can't tune your carburetor properly or anything like that. So I decided to put it back to the original, so I went ahead and I got the proper fuel filter and hooked it up, and so when I replaced the fuel tank, though, I didn't have the T. There's a special T that you need in order to tap that return tube back into the system. So you have right here you have your filler tube, right here. Here's where you put your gas in your front fender there, and then you have your filler tube that goes down to your gas tank. I guess it's like about 1.25 inches in diameter there. And then you have this overflow / vent tube, the smaller tube, that goes up in there, see? And then you have a venting gas cap. This is a special, gas cap that vents and allows the vapors to come out of there. So you need the right gas cap as well. That's also part of the whole fuel system. And then these both go right to the fuel tank here, okay? And as you can see, there's not a lot of access in there. You can barely get your finger in there. And I guess you could cut this out if you really wanted to, if you needed to service these fuel lines and all the hoses that are associated with it. But I decided that I didn't really, I don't like to be cutting into my car. I like to keep them original, especially the classics. So So anytime you need to service any of these fuel lines in here, as you can see, you cannot get access to it. There's just no way. See, I can barely get my hand through here. Okay, and so let me see if I can turn on the light for you here. I mean, you could barely even see in there, but there's your tubes and things going up in there, and there's just no way you can get to the tube. See, there's the main tube there, and then you see a couple of other smaller tubes up there. You cannot service anything, and that's the smaller tube up there is where you need to tap in with this return fuel line. I don't know if I can focus this for you, but see, this goes up, way up in there, basically on top of the tank, and you just can't service anything. I tried, believe me, I tried, and that's one reason why I'm making this video, is because it's really